Hey Cowboys Nation, it's Alex back again with another huge breaking update, and before we jump into today's massive story, I gotta ask you something real quick because I know a lot of you watch my videos every single week but still haven't subscribed yet. And listen, I don't want you to miss out on the biggest Cowboys news the minute it drops, so go ahead, tap that subscribe button right now, join the family, and let's ride through this Cowboys season together, because trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Alright, let's get into it because this one is absolutely massive, and I mean huge news for the future of the Dallas Cowboys. Cornerback DaRon Bland has just signed a monster contract extension to stay in Dallas. And Cowboys Nation, this changes everything for the defense and for the entire team going forward, because this is one of those moves that sets the tone for years to come. Now, I know a lot of you were asking in the comments and on social media about what the Cowboys were going to do with DaRon Bland after that record-breaking season he had in 2023 when he absolutely shocked the league with those pick sixes. He didn't just play good, he was a straight-up playmaker, and when a player like that comes along, you cannot let him walk out the door, and Jerry Jones knew it, and today we got the confirmation that the Cowboys locked him down. Imagine this for a second. You've got Trevon Diggs on one side, DaRon Bland on the other side, both of them locked in as long-term corners for the Dallas Cowboys. That's the kind of foundation teams dream of building on defense, because quarterbacks now have to pick their poison. You throw to Diggs' side, he can take it away. You throw to Bland's side, he can take it to the house. That's the type of nightmare scenario for offenses that can completely tilt the balance in the NFC. But let's rewind for a second, because this story is bigger than just numbers on a contract. This is about the journey of DaRon Bland. The guy came in as a 5th-round pick out of Fresno State, not a big flashy name, not someone the national media was hyping up, but inside the building the Cowboys believed in his talent, and boy did he prove them right. Last season we watched him rise from a depth piece to one of the biggest defensive stars in the entire NFL, and what's even crazier is how quickly he adapted to the moment. Remember last year when Trevon Diggs went down with that injury, a lot of people thought the secondary was finished, but Bland stepped up in a huge way. He didn't just fill in the spot, he turned it into his stage and went on to break the NFL record for pick sixes in a single season. That's not just talent, that's heart, that's resilience, and that's the type of player you want to reward. And today that reward finally came, because the Cowboys gave him a contract extension worth big money. Now, we don't just call it massive for no reason. The exact figures show just how much the organization values him in. Trust me, they are paying him like a top cornerback in the league. This isn't just a one-year patch. This is long-term security for Bland and long-term stability for the Dallas Cowboys defense. And here's the part that's got me fired up, Cowboys Nation. This move isn't just about Bland, it's about the message it sends to the rest of the locker room, because when guys see the organization rewarding players who produce, when they see the front office taking care of their own, it builds trust, it builds loyalty, and it makes this team stronger from the inside out. And in a locker room that has guys like Micah Parsons, who's going to want his deal soon, and CeeDee Lamb, who's already in contract talks, this move shows the Cowboys are ready to keep their young stars at home. Now let's really break it down. What does this mean for the defense moving forward? Well, it means Dan Quinn's scheme just got even more dangerous. We already know Micah Parsons is a game wrecker up front. DeMarcus Lawrence brings the veteran leadership, and now on the back end you have Diggs and Bland locked up as your shutdown duo. That is the recipe for a championship defense. And if you don't believe me, just look at the way Super Bowl teams are built. They all have that one thing in common: elite corners and a pass rush, and Dallas just secured their piece of that puzzle. But here's where it gets even more interesting. This extension could have ripple effects across the entire roster, because let's be honest, money is tight in Dallas, and with Bland getting paid, the spotlight now shifts to guys like Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, because the front office has to make some tough choices about how to spread the cap space, and you better believe every fan is watching closely to see how Jerry and Stephen Jones balance this out. And speaking of Dak, imagine the pressure he's under now, because the Cowboys are making it clear they're building a defense that can win right now. They're locking up their young talent, and that means they expect the offense to do their part. No excuses, no waiting game. The window is open, and if Dak doesn't capitalize, then questions are going to get louder. But for now, the big story is that the Cowboys defense is built to dominate for years. Cowboys Nation, let me ask you this. Do you think locking up Bland was the right move, or should the Cowboys have waited until after this season? I want to hear what you guys think. Drop your answers in the comments because this is the type of move that divides opinion. Some people love paying early to get ahead of the market and others prefer to wait and make the player prove it again, but it'll tell you this from what we've seen. Bland has more than proven he deserves this bag. And speaking of bags, let's not forget how big of a risk it is for the front office too, because anytime you hand out a massive contract, you're betting on consistency. You're betting that Bland is going to keep making plays and keep growing as a player, and from everything we've seen, from his work ethic, from his attitude, and from his growth, I believe he's the type of guy that's going to live up to the money. But in the NFL, you never know. Injuries happen, slumps happen, and that's what makes these deals so fascinating to watch. But for the Cowboys, they couldn't afford to let him test free agency, because if Bland had hit the market, every team in the league would have been lining up to throw crazy money at him, and the Cowboys would have been stuck in a bidding war. Instead, they made the proactive move. They secured him now, and it's going to pay off. Let's also talk about what this means for Trevon Diggs, because now you've got both him and Bland locked in as your cornerstone corners, and that takes so much pressure off the rest of the defense. It allows the safeties to play more aggressively. It gives Dan Quinn freedom to dial up blitzes, and it creates opportunities for turnovers and momentum-swinging plays. And in today's NFL, turnovers win games, and nobody proved that more than DaRon Bland last season. So Cowboys Nation, this is the type of news that gets me hyped for the season ahead, because we're not just talking about one player getting a paycheck. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys building a real championship foundation, piece by piece, brick by brick, and Bland is one of those key bricks that you simply can't replace. And let's be honest, it also makes Sundays a lot more fun, because every time Bland touches the ball, you feel like something crazy might happen. That electricity, that excitement, that's what makes football so special, and now we get to watch him do it in a Cowboys uniform for years to come. Before I wrap this up, I want to remind you guys that this is just the beginning, because the Cowboys still have more big decisions coming up. We're talking about CeeDee Lamb, we're talking about Dak Prescott, we're talking about Micah Parsons. All of those situations are about to heat up, and you already know I'm going to keep you updated on every single twist and turn. So if you haven't already, go smash that subscribe button right now so you don't miss a single update. Trust me, you'll want to be locked in with me this season. Cowboys Nation, DaRon Bland is staying home. He's got his bag, he's secured for the future, and now the mission is simple: turn this defense into a championship defense and bring that Lombardi trophy back to Dallas, where it belongs. All right, guys, that's all Eve got for you today, but I want to hear from you in the comments. What grade are you giving this contract extension? A, B, C, or maybe even lower? Let me know, because I'll be reading and replying to as many of you as I can. And as always, thank you so much for watching, thank you for supporting the channel, and thank you for riding with me on this journey. I'm Alex, and I'll see you in the next one. Go Cowboys!